welcome to Impact 2024, our continuing conversation where we talk about all different types of topics, race, religion, current events, everything you can think of. As always, we ask that if you want to participate in the conversation, please feel free to type your questions and your comments into the comment section. If you have anything you want to say, if you have anything that you disagree with, you agree with, go ahead and put it on in there. Be a part of the conversation. This is a conversation, so your thoughts and your opinions do matter. As we've done recently, I just want to remind people that this is a ministry of Amani Christian Ministries, and we have other offerings as well. On Thursdays here on Facebook and YouTube, we have Thursday, which is a weekly Bible study. Join us at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Join us here. On Sundays, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time as well. 10 o'clock in the morning, 8 a.m. We have worship service. Please feel free to join us. YouTube, Facebook. If you are in the area, you have see our address on the screen. Please join us in person. Love to have you. And then on Tuesdays, as today, at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we have a time of prayer where we as a ministry all pray together. Please join us and pray with us on your own time, or where you are, you'll just be in prayer at the same time as the rest of the ministry. And so, put those prayers up together at the same time. All right. Thank everybody for joining us as always. Let's hop right into it. A lot of stuff going on. That's, I can say that every single week because it's always stuff going on. And we constantly have just issue after issue after issue. So it's never a hard time trying to figure out what to talk about because we have so much. Sometimes it's trying to figure out what to talk about because we have so much. But one of the big things is political season. And one of the large concerns that people have had has been safety, law and order, all of this. That's one of the big issues. All of this issues around being safe. There's issues around crime, and there's one particular party that's really pushing the whole. There's a lot of crime going on. There's a lot of craziness going on out here. But what was released and revealed today is, not today. What's been released and revealed is that even though people keep talking about a lot of crime and a lot of things going on, the reality of the matter is the crime rate has gone down. In 2024, at this point in 2023, the crime rate has significantly dropped off. Now, why is that? Don't really know. But it still doesn't change, some people's perspective of putting out that it's just a lot of crime going on. And so we're going to discuss it. We're going to walk through this, discuss that and some other little issues. You join us on the journey. So have a guest we're going to bring in. Chris, how we doing?
We're good, man.
Good.
Good.
So, we're talking about is crime. And as you know, it's a big hot button issue. Here, a lot of crime is being talked about. They're like, oh, it's crime. But the crime has gone down. Crime rate has gone down. And I know you're not a criminal expert. I'm not a criminal expert. But just, being around kids, knowing kids, being around other people, friends and everything like that, why would you think that the crime rate between 2023 and 2024 has gone down? Why? What's going on?
Well, I don't know. Apparently, people got what they need. I think crime rates go up when people are struggling, and trying to figure out how they're going to get what they need. And so maybe people are more satisfied in life than they think they are, And so, and of course, it's an election year too. So you got a lot of people that are, trying to make it look like things are so super bad. So you got to get the right person in the right office to make things better. So, the media hypes things up, and, sometimes we feel like things are worse than really what the reality is.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because I'll tell you, one of the things that occurred, I don't know if you remember these, but they had these flash mob crimes a couple of years ago. Not even a couple of years ago, but where you'd have a bunch of people and they'd all run up in the store and steal a whole bunch of stuff and then run out. And so they were like, oh, this big epidemic of these flash mob crime things. And I think that may have just been kids being kids, getting caught up in some stuff. But it's funny because the crime rate is going down, but yet inflation has not really stopped. It's going up.
That's true.
It's leveling out now, but prices are higher than they've ever been for most of the goods. You've been in the grocery store, you see how it look. But yet crime is going down. So it's clearly not a connection between those two. Sometimes you think, all right, price is going up, so everybody gonna start stealing. Or, people gonna start wilding out and doing bad stuff because they're so stressed or the pressures out there. But none of those things seem to be the case. Do you feel like people just are just like you said, they're just in a better headspace now than they were a couple of years ago? Are we finally getting over our COVID hangover from 4 years ago?
I don't know. Well, I mean, people really don't go outside like that anymore either. So like, you don't have to go a lot of places anymore. Like, you don't even have to go out to get your groceries now. You can get them delivered to your house. So, and like I don't know exactly what the statistics are about, when you're talking about crime. I don't know if it's the murder rates that are down, but I know where I'm living in Elizabeth City and Hereford, our murder rates and our violent crime rates are down. So,
yeah.
I mean, maybe people are just, satisfied with being inside. Look, they can DoorDash their food. You can stream a movie. You can find a good website that can give you the movies that is out in the movie theaters now.
Yeah.
Maybe people are having more fun inside in their own space versus going out and having to deal with other people. So, whether it's a good it could be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know, but.
Yeah, we spend so much time complaining about the fact that people aren't together and things like that. And I'm a chief, one of the chief people out here. Just like, look, everybody's not together. We're being too separated. Maybe there is some good parts to this. Maybe some of the good parts about the separation is you can't get to fight with anybody if you're not around them. So, and that is specifically, it's been violent crime. That is what is down. So it's less violent crimes going on. So even when you hear these politicians rah-rah and saying, "Hey, crime is so bad and it's so horrible out here," the crime rate truly is going down. However, politicians are still saying some things, and we're going to touch on them. What is your? I don't even know how to ask this question, so I'm gonna just ask it to you. You heard about what's going on with the Haitians in Ohio and they're in Springfield, Ohio, and they're saying that they're eating dogs. They're eating animals. Just what's your impression of this? Like, when you hear this kind of stuff, all right, politicians gonna be politicians, but to the line of they're talking about the Haitians and they're just like, hey man, these people are eating dogs and they need to be deported. Legal citizens now, they need to be deported. What? How do you feel about that?
It's ridiculous, man. Because nobody's saying anything about the Ukrainians. It's more Ukrainian. It's more Ukrainian immigrants in the country now than there are Haitians, and so nobody's saying anything about the Ukrainians. You can make your own mind up of why.
Right.
I mean, it's obvious to me, but it's another one of those ways to get your poor whites to side with to understand. Look, they're gonna come and they're gonna replace you. They're gonna take your jobs. They're gonna take your house. They're gonna take your kids and marry them, and have caramel colored babies with them. And they're gonna desecrate the white race.
Yeah.
Now that's the only way I can answer it. So
it's the truth. Because I don't think people.
I heard a lady. It was an interview last night that me and my wife were watching, and they were talking about the issue because now it's not just in Springfield. It's another city in Pennsylvania that they were in that a lot of Haitians have come into, and really kind of revived the industry there. Like, and the lady was interviewing. It's like they're just coming in from everywhere, and it's like they're taking over. It's like, and I don't want to sound like, I'm scared, but it's scary. Like, what is scary? And you got to really think about it. Haitians are dark skinned people, like, and they speak French. So when they're together and they're speaking, they could be talking about something that has nothing. They could be sitting there talking about ice cream, but to a scared white woman, they're thinking about raping your daughters and stealing your dogs and barbecuing them for their friends that are coming over in these boats. And you know, like it's fear and fear mongering and it's I think it's funny, but it's also dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Because you got some people that really believe this and really think that these Haitians are gonna come in and kill off or wipe out a whole population of 200 million whites, and it's just stupidity to me.
Yeah, you got a comment. Racism is alive and well. It seems like, and here's the thing about the Haitian population, and I think that we need to. I'm not really sure, but I think that we need to communicate this to our friends, family, our kids.
Yeah,
Haitians look like they look exactly like us, because
they are like us.
because they are us, and so it's not even a situation. And I know sometimes, and this is gonna sound bad, but sometimes people will sit back and be like, well, you know, the Haitians coming in here and they're super dark skinned and you know, they stick out. Like if somebody came from certain parts of Africa, they would stick out, and you would know the difference. No, if you look at some, and they showed a lot of the Haitians in Springfield. There is no way you're telling them any different from us until we start speaking. They look just like you, same complexion as us, you know, a myriad of different complexions, of course, but they look exactly like you or I could be Haitian, and no one would know until we started talking. Most likely, if we had, if we eat, even if we had a different dialect, if we had, you know, a different way of speaking, but they look exactly like us. So when you have politicians, I think, talking about Haitians, I think they're really just using the Haitian word as like a code word, because you're basically just talking about us because we look the exact. You can't tell the difference.
Yeah, Lauryn Hill's Haitian.
Right.
Lauryn Hill's Haitian, and Wyclef, the whole refugee all-star, they're Haitians. All right.
Yeah, it's a very strange. You know, it's a very strange conversation at the time that we're in. All right, I'm jumping around because we're gonna hit a couple different topics while we in here.
That Haitian topic is, you can go a whole lot of ways with that.
Yeah. I had some other people on earlier, so, and you're in education as well, so I have to talk to you about the vibe. And then, so 2 weeks ago, I want to say 3 weeks ago, we had another tragic school shooting. But the question more so is not about the school shooting. It is, how are you? How are your kids? The kids that you at the school? Are we so desensitized that this happened a couple of weeks ago and we're not even thinking about it anymore? Or is this something that's still in people's minds of, all right, we need to make sure that we're vigilant. We need to make sure that we are asking kids how they're doing. Or is it just, all right, we're so used to kids being, unfortunately, murdered at school that we don't even think about it or talk about it anymore?
Well, I mean, it's definitely something we're desensitized to because it happens.
Mm-hmm.
It happens so often now. It's, you know, it's like another one. Dang. It's like, you know, DJ Khaled, another one. Another one. And so it's, you just get, you know, you hear it so much, you don't really, it doesn't really bother you, I guess, until it hits you close to home, you know. So, and that's the sad part about it, because it's not something that's going to be fixed in this country. So, because it's too many people that stand to lose large amounts of money behind it. So, and so that's the sad part. But I mean, as far as in our school, we're vigilant. You know, I think the last school, and I can't speak about all of the schools that have shootings, but I know that this past school did not have metal detectors. And so whoever the the gunman, he was able to sneak his gun into the school, and I think he had it broken up into pieces, and he brought it in and put it in a place that nobody could find it. So, you know, being in a school that's kind of reactive,
Mm-hmm.
it's that's problematic, especially it's a threat at any school. Like we had a kid in Newport News, the kid was in an elementary school kid shot his teacher. So like it can happen in any school. I mean, it's not just happening in schools either now. Like it happens everywhere. Like it happens in churches, it happens in malls, it happens in, grocery stores. So we have to be vigilant. There are people out there that just don't have it all wrapped up tight, and they're willing to murder thousands of, anybody that they can put a bullet in, and it is sad, but we always have to be prepared for that.
We got a comment. J.D. Vance, the vice presidential candidate, says these incidences are commonplace and we need to get used to it. I think that's how some people feel. Commonplace, where you need to get used to it. So here's what's I'll say interesting is that a lot of times when we have these shooters, you have the students who will say, you have some students who will be like, well, they were quiet, they were to themselves, but they'll be like, I wasn't surprised. And a lot of times you'll have these students who, especially this one in the last incident, in a previous incident, where the school actually had to communicate back to the parents and, hey, this child made a threat or this child has a problem here. What that says to me, though, is that these are kids who've already been identified with issues, but nobody's reaching out to the kids with the issues. They're talking about, oh, well, the police should have reached out and took them out of school, but who's reaching out and talking to them and trying to work through, like, what's the problem? What's going on? Do you think maybe that is a little bit more where we need to be looking instead of, all right, let's look and see who made a threat and then put them in, put them out through this. But this boy looks like he has some problems. Let's talk to him.
Well, I mean, I can't speak for, people at any other school, but that's kind of what I do. We're blessed that the school that I work at, we have quite a few men that work there. So, having that kind of a relationship with a man changes some of that, So you can kind of have a kid that's dealing with, the same issues that this young man was dealing with, but he had nobody he can talk to, Right. So, and, I guess his dad was cool, but his dad was the one that went and bought him that gun for a birthday gift. So, right. To have some people that make good common sense decisions as a mentor or somebody that you can speak with, I think makes a difference. But I mean, it comes back down to being proactive in your schools. If you see a child that's having an issue, you see somebody that's struggling with, their peers, they feel like they're getting bullied, or even that kid that's sitting by themselves in the cafeteria during lunch, those are the kids that, you got to make a point to kind of find out, where, how are they feeling? How is their day going? What's going on, with their family, and, what can I do to make their day better? And a lot of times, especially middle school, high school kids, they so into themselves that, you never know when you're saving the school, and sad to say that, but you know what? You never know. You could be saving the entire population of your school just by sitting down having a conversation with another kid. And so, it's so it doesn't have to be commonplace, and it's not normal by any means. Mm-hmm. But there are things we can do to fix it.
It's a shame because the onus is so much on teachers. There's so much on people like you, anybody that's in the school, because you don't have the same. You may not be exposed to a bunch of different men or a bunch of different women who will be able to ask you about your day and see how you're doing anymore. Mm-hmm. So it's not like a bunch of these kids are, the number of kids going to church or the number of kids going to youth group is so small. So they're not going to get that level of protection. Or then, being in different clubs and organizations, unless they play in sports, and then half the time in that's all about sports. And so they're not going to be able to have a lot of the, adult relationships that can come in and check you out and see how you're doing. So then it falls all on the teachers, because you're probably the only adult that they're going to see outside of their parents in a given day. And so if y'all don't do it, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like anybody else is to do it. And that's I think the bigger problem for us in this society. Being separated, great, crime went down, but being separated, we don't get to touch these. Not touch these. That's probably, we don't need to get close to these kids like they need. Like we don't get to make sure that they're okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, man. So, and we got to work on that so we don't mess up the kids.
Right. We probably need to double, quadruple teachers' pay, because they doing all the work now versus.
Say that, Nathaniel.
Versus how it was shared before.
Everybody watching this, call your local representative to the school board, call your city council members, everybody, state legislators, call them all, say, look, teachers need double their pay.
Yeah, they got the double job now, so.
Double the pay, yeah.
All right, well, we're going to move on to the next thing. I can't let you go without this.
Hey,
talking to a friend, and he was talking about the music industry, and he was lamenting on whether or not did we have some responsibility, you and I, or everybody having some responsibility in what's going on. We got P. Diddy out here getting in trouble, a lot of trouble, for a lot of inappropriate actions, which is crazy that you would get in trouble for things like this. Did you not learn a lesson from R. Kelly and anything like that? But yeah, P. Diddy, for those of y'all don't know, Puff Daddy, everybody, he was arrested. He's been arrested and now put up on federal charges of just look at it yourself. It's many different charges, and all around sexual type crimes. But yeah, should we? Here's what we know. Many people knew about this already in the industry. But as consumers, do we hold any responsibility? As people who grew up in the 90s and the 2000s, and we were sitting there rocking out to all of this, do we hold any responsibility? Should we be looking at ourselves like, oh, we helped him do this, we were enablers?
No. No. Man, at the end of the day, Diddy was a mate. Look, especially in the 90s, he had a killer run in the 90s and really into the 2000s. Man, he made all of those decisions by himself. I didn't tell him to beat that lady up, and me dancing to All About the Benjamins had nothing to do with him beating that lady in that hotel. That was. I think his ego got in the way, man. He thought he was bigger than the law. Like, he just felt like, he didn't have to do things the way people want him to do. I'm Diddy. I can do whatever I want to do.
Right.
So, I mean, the same thing happened with Cosby. I mean, R. Kelly, everybody, like all the big wigs, Weinstein, Epstein, all of them, like. And it's a point where you get too big and you got to ease off. And you got to have the right people around you to say, oh, chill, you're getting wild. And Diddy didn't have that, and R. Kelly didn't have it either. So yeah, you saw what happened to him.
It was a time where we used to say stuff as people of color. We'd be like, we don't do that. Everybody else do that. We don't be doing like crazy stuff. Like, we may get into small time trouble, but we ain't doing no human trafficking type, like crazy next level things. And then you see R. Kelly, and then you see P. Diddy. Man, I don't know. We was lying to ourselves, thinking for some reason we don't commit crimes like other people commit crimes.
No, we definitely commit them.
Yeah,
we definitely. I mean, the whole 70s blaxploitation era was built on human trafficking. Pimping is human trafficking.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
so you know, and in the hood and the black community, well, the underworld of the black community, let's say that the pimp is highly esteemed. Is one of the He's right there behind the drug dealer and the stick up kids. Like so that's a part of our culture. It's just that when you get to that level and you feel like you can be whatever you want to be with impunity. That's the word I'm looking for.
Right.
Like you can do things without any consequences. That you can't sin against the spirit, man, and think that you're gonna get away with it. You can't. And so, and the brother, I mean, he sinned, and he did a whole lot of it. And so and he promoted it, and so he pissed off the wrong person too. Like I think that's really what it gets down to. It was the wrong person. Diddy got under the wrong person's skin, and
Yeah.
they used every piece of power they could to tear him down. And same thing happened with all the other cats we talked about earlier. So,
Yeah.
but I'm telling you, still had a killer run. A
Yeah.
DJ play a nice Diddy, a bad boy or a Diddy set, he gonna have the dance floor jumping. And I don't care how many charges he gets penalized for. You can't take away more money, more problems, Diddy. You can't. So.
Yeah. Well, one of the comment back to the previous question was maybe the churches need to develop groups and activities beyond the church building. Maybe churches need to go into the communities and share with the families. Yeah, I think that's the answer to helping out the teachers. Because right now, again, it's all on the teachers. We need to assist by maybe getting outside. If people not bringing them to the church, we got to get outside and kind of find these kids.
Yeah.
So we're at our time, but the last question, of course, it always comes to this when we had these conversations when it talks about Diddy and all of this kind of stuff. Is it okay to still listen to his music? I say yes.
I don't know if it's okay. I don't know if it's okay or not, but I still got me a bad boy playlist with a lot of Diddy. Yeah. Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm gonna keep listening to Diddy. I mean, he's in my algorithms. I can't get him out.
Yeah. No, that's what they say. Look,
right.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend. I was like, if you really want to be pure on the music, I mean, you going back, like no James Brown, like no Michael Jackson,
no Michael Jackson, no
Rick
James, no
right, yeah, Rick James. Defend on how do you feel
David
about people
Ruffin
going crazy
Temptations.
on drugs? Now you taking out the whole funkadelic, like, come on, it just. If your idea is that the music needs to come from somebody that's perfect, then it's not gonna be a lot of music you're gonna be able to listen to.
Barry White used to beat his women too. Barry White, dang. Yeah. I mean, I guess Luther is clean though.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, I think we would be in that situation. So anybody who, from my standpoint, hey, if you don't want to listen to it, I don't fault anybody, but I don't think you should be faulting anybody for. For listening to the music, that there is no connection between the two.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah. You got to separate the man from the art.
Yeah,
man.
Here's another. The proof that you made it is being able to do what other people do. What other people, I guess, other people can't do. We need to show I can do what you can do because I'm just like you. Oh no, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, when that's what these guys do. When you make it to a certain level, you need to do what all the other people are doing. So if R. Kelly is out here living this kind of life, and I'm P. Diddy, well, I should be able to live that kind of life. Or if I'm a new artist and they out here and they having these wild parties and they abusing people and hurting people, you're not big until you do the same things.
Well, I don't know. I think if you do the right thing, everything lines up the way it's supposed to. So, Brother Malcolm said, wrong is wrong, even if everybody's doing it. Right is right, even if nobody's doing it. So.
Yep. Dave Chappelle said it. He was like, listen, man, there's something evil out there in Hollywood. And even though Diddy wasn't Hollywood, he was still Hollywood. And so there must be some truth to that, man. There's some evil out there, man. We got to watch what we do if not us, because we ain't about to be famous like that. But if our kids go down that path, man, we just got to put into them some evil out there in Hollywood. And watch what you do.
Well, the evil's everywhere. The evil's everywhere, but in Hollywood, it's got all of the stuff that makes it so much more attractive. The women, the power, the access, the limelight, all of that comes with it. So that makes it so much more attractive.
Yeah.
So the goal is to, get out of here just as clean as we were when we got here. So we gotta keep our heads up.
Cool. Well, look, I appreciate you coming on here, handling all these different random topics as they come at you, because it's a lot going on. That's just what it is. It's a lot going on out here, and being able to talk it through and get these perspectives, I think it's important for us to really talk through. And I think if you didn't catch anything, catch the fact that, one, we need to support our teachers, and two, we need to get out here and make sure that we are in the community so that we can also be a buffer for when people are clearly going through stuff. And so
absolutely,
that's what we need to do. All right. Well, I appreciate you. For everyone, as a reminder, we're here every week on Tuesday, 8:00. Bible study as well on Thursday, same place, Thursday, and Sunday at 10. We have service. Please join us on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and come again.
Thank y'all.